Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say. In any democratic society, the principle of justice must be rooted in fairness, impartiality, and equal treatment under the law. However, in Nigeria, concerns about selective justice, where legal actions are influenced by political, ethnic, or economic considerations, have increasingly undermined public trust in the judiciary and regulatory institutions. This phenomenon raises critical questions about who gets punished, who gets protected, and why. A recent example that brings this issue into sharp focus is the controversy between Ibom Airline and, of course, that of ValueJet Airlines as well, two domestic airlines operating in Nigeria. The different regulatory and public responses to incidents involving both airlines have sparked debate over double standards, favoritism, and political influence in the enforcement of aviation laws. While one airline faced swift sanction and public scrutiny, the other appeared to receive more lenient or delayed treatment under similar circumstances. It's a wonderful episode on your favorite primetime show, Ways. My name remains Osayora Mesali, and today we examined selective justice in Nigeria through the lens of Ibom Air and ValueJet, of course, as case studies. Remember, Ways is all about you. You are the wine way. So be a part of the conversation every single day. You can add your voice to the discussion. Please head on to our YouTube channel. It's at Official Upgrade TV. Hit the subscribe button, like, share, invite your family and friends to watch and follow the show right now. And when I open the phone lines, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. As always, let me allow you ponder on my quote for the day. It says, I have therefore directed whoever released the part of the video containing the indecent exposure amongst the staff should be singled out and adequately sanctioned. And this was from the Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in charge of aviation and aerospace development, Festus Keyamo. All right, we'll delve into the conversation around selective justice and using, the ValueJet and Ibom Air case studies, in view much later. But first, let me run off on a break. When I come back from that break, I'll let you in on my news interest for the day. Stay with me. All right, so the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has said that the incident involving Comfort Emerson, the passenger who allegedly assaulted Ibom Air crew staff, is different from the case of the Fuji musician Wasiu Ayinde, popularly known as Kwam1. The NCAA's Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Mike Achimogo, said this during an X Space session on Monday. He explained that the regulatory body did not direct the airline to prosecute or ban Emanson, noting that Ibom Air acted independently rather based on aviation evidence, or rather available evidence. So Achimogo said the airline operators of Nigeria acted within its right, citing other past incidents where lack of evidence hindered regulatory action. He added that while Ibom Air swiftly charged Emanson to court, ValueJet did not press charges in Kwamwan's case, prompting the NCAA to petition the authorities. Achimogo stated that the airline has the right to prosecute, and also deemed that the matter could have still been resolved amicably. Yeah, I think we're going to have a very long conversation on this Ibom Air transaction, because there's just too many things that is surfacing. I've heard so many videos, on voice notes, different angles of the story that seems to not really put the young lady, as the only, person in the wrong. I suppose what was, promoted on social media as her being totally unruly and all of that. There were cases, so many people are also saying that the crew member, right, the air hostess, the air hostess, right, she was quite rude, and, so would have that conversation with the lawyer once it comes in much later. I'll move on to human rights activist and former presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore arrived at the National Youth Corps headquarters in Abuja to demand the discharge certificate of the female corps member. Remember her, popularly known as Ray. Sowore this morning was accompanied to the headquarters by some activists, including human rights lawyer Enibehe Effiong, who also serves as Ray's legal representative. Sowore had stated that the move was to ensure she receives her discharge certificate. Sowore vowed to ensure justice for Ray, stating that the injustice meted to her would not be allowed to stand. And I think this is also part of what we're going to be having as a conversation in terms of selective justice, because there are just too many cases. It seems like if you're the child of a nobody and you call out, people in higher authority and all of that, you seem to be the, because again, I don't know how NYC is going to wiggle their way out of this, because except you provide other evidences, that claim that she intentionally wanted to, miss her clearance and all of that. Other than that, we all know that Nigeria is quite tricky when it comes to when people speak out against people that are maybe higher than them in status or whatever. You would always get that backlash, So let's see how that goes, if they're able to retrieve her certificate. And we'll move on to the final story. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has warned that it will not approve admissions for 2024-2025 academic sessions in any tertiary institutions that fail to submit its matriculation list. A registrar of JAMB, Professor Ishak Oloyede, according to a bulletin of the board, directed that institutions which fail to submit their matriculation list for the 2022-2023 admissions should not have their admission approved. He noted that a concession was being granted for 2024 admissions because some institutions were still conducting the process, but stressed that they must comply once admissions conclude. He also warned that the board will make erring institutions scapegoats with appropriate sanction to be announced in due course. Okay, everybody's talking tough. That's interesting to know. Let's take a break. When we come back from that break, we would delve into the conversation on selective justice. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlights. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, We share stories and conversations that define us. Navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Selective justice refers to the unequal or biased application of laws where certain individuals, group, or entities are punished or protected based on factors such as political influence, economic power, religious affiliation, or social status. In Nigeria, this practice has been widely observed across sectors from politics and business to law enforcement and aviation, often leading to public outcry and, of course, outrage and weakening of the institutional credibility. I have two guests that are going to be joining me tonight to have this conversation. Oladapo Kayode, he is the principal partner, Oladapo Femi Kayode & Co. And I have Tunji Abdul Hamin, Esquire. He's also a legal practitioner. So they've joined me via Zoom this evening. Thank you so much, gentlemen. My legal people. Let me not go and be sued this evening. Good evening. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me.
Okay, I was about to say gentlemen. I now realize that no, you people are you are the law yourself. Tonight I have to be careful so that I don't land in kirikiri. Okay, so let me start with Oladapo, right? This conversation, let me give a quick background, is stemming from the issue around ValueJet, the incident that happened with ValueJet, and of course, the incident that happened with Ibom Air. Now, these are not the only incidences that we see selective treatment, but it's a good way to kind of like expand our minds, on the real issues that exist in Nigeria. So the first question or ask I would like to, for you to shed light on would be, is there anything like selective justice in Nigeria? Does it exist?
All right, thank you. I would agree with you, but I would say I also throw that line that there's selective justice. It's something that we witness every day in this line of work. There are some clients you have, they are above board, while there are some that struggle all along. So there's a way the society, both the police, all of that agencies, when you're a person of influence or affluence, and you know someone, maybe your father is this, your mother is this, you're a politician, you're a party member, the way you are treated is different from the way they treat normal human beings. It's everywhere. It's something that has become a problem in this country. So I agree with you. It is there. And we see it at work every time.
Let me come to you, Abdul Hameen. Do you agree with Mr. Oladapo, Mr. Tunji?
Before I agree with him, let me tell you my name is Tunji Abdulhamid, not Amin. Abdulhamid.
Hamid, okay.
Yes, so that I won't sue you.
Apologies.
For calling my name.
Don't sue me. Oh. Go ahead.
I agree with him that there is what they call what we have in Nigeria in terms of implementation of our law amount to what we call selective justice, a situation whereby you deliver justice or you take action, those in authority based on the standard or status of that person. You are doing a selective justice. Not only in terms of cases like this. You look at our electricity, grade A, grade B, grade C, grade D or E. That is selective justice in Nigeria. So it cut across everywhere in Nigeria.
Wait, Mr. Tunji, now, this selective thing you've just talked about, grade A, grade B, everybody's moving to band A right now. Are you aware that they are slowly phasing out all those cheaper bands and moving everybody to band A?
The essence of it is it's not about to give you. It's not about giving you electricity. It's about making money.
Not everybody wants band A.
Not everybody wants it. Yes, unfortunately, but I mean, I saw a young girl managing her life. She was complaining that they're about to move our band now to band A. She does not even know how she's going to cope, you know. But let us take these two case studies and break them down, because you see, sometimes when things happen, I don't think we're able to measure the impact as to how these things, you know, travel around and how the kind of message that is being, you know, sent into the minds of people. It is possible that this girl that did this Ibom saw her predecessor. You know, we call them Kwam 1, Kwam 2. You know, she saw her predecessor do something and she said, okay, maybe me too, you know, but it was not the case. And all of a sudden, we're seeing some very dehumanizing treatment and all of that was meted on that girl, you know, which I condemn very strongly, because no matter how much you want to apply force, now exposing her body like that, I don't think, you know, I feel like, you know, she would have a good case if she wants to really pursue it legally. But the issue around selective justice, is it not a common thing anywhere in the world that if you are famous, if you have like a you're a known figure, public figure and all of that, would the justice system not be a bit lenient with you? Is it not something that happens around the world? Is it a unique thing to Nigeria? Who do I come to first here? Go ahead.
It happens everywhere in the world, but not as pronounced as the way it is in Africa, and especially Nigeria as a whole. We see it everywhere in the world, in the US. Even, you know, there are sometimes you see their president go through some legal issues, legal battles, and they don't shy away from it. That in general is independent of who the president is. So probably the president has the hand in appointing who he is, but he acts independently. But and you see but it's still there over there too. There's a preference they give some people. There's a way they treat each other with respect, with more decorum, with this and that. But the way it is in Nigeria is as if you don't have anybody, you'll be treated like anybody. That's the way it is. It's everywhere in the world, but I've never seen it this bad.
Tunji, do you agree?
To an extent. I agree to an extent, and the fact that even though it happens everywhere, it's not. It's just 1 out of 10 in some other country. But in Nigeria, it's almost 10 over 9. 10 in favor of selective justice and 9 against it. 1 against it. You see, it is more pronounced in Nigeria, that where I belong, and and you are being determined. Your case will be determined based on the. Who you are, where you are, and where you come from, and who you associate with. Even in our court system, what we call cases, when cases are being had, I'm sorry, if we are looking for solution, we must tell about ourselves the truth. Most times, our cases are not decided based on the law of the land, and that's why you see all the conflict and confusion in our system, particularly when it comes to political decisions, because it's not based on law; it's based on sentiment. so many influence, so many the sentiment behind it, political, friendship, other influence, and that's the reason you see all the things you are seeing. We are in a country where once you are a VIP or VVIP, or you know somebody in power or somebody somewhere, you can do and undo. And that's why you hear Nigeria say, I'll make sure you spend 10 days in jail.
You know who I am?
Make sure you
Somebody told me before, I'll make sure
Exactly.
you will vanish from the face of the earth.
Exactly. I'll make sure I keep you in custody for days, and nothing will happen. And you even see our security agents, they will say, I will waste you. And nothing will happen. So we do some of these things in Nigeria with impunity because there is no consequences. There are no consequences. You see, if you are going to the case at hand, particularly the Ibom here incident, I am a bit different from the position of the generality of Nigerians. I do not see any. There is no. We are hasty in making our conclusion. When people talk about the girl was unruly, how do they know? Do they know the background of the case? Do they know what happened? They saw the video posted by the Ibom here. Would they post a video that's against them? They will not. You see, the mere blockage of that lady I saw a video where the lady said, "Let me go out," and they blocked it. That is false imprisonment. If let's assume that she has committed an offense and you have planned to arrest her, allow her to move out of the plane. You plan for her within the airport. She will not even know, and she will be picked up. Then she wanted to go out. You block her. Say she cannot go. And we have been told that again. There was a place where we were told that the girl, the Ibom here girl, remove a wig, and also there was provocation. And so if anybody is saying the girl that was unruly, they don't know the background, and we are not told. And that's why I'm worried that there was no investigation and the police rushed to court. It is even funny when NCA said it is not within their power. It's acquired Ibom here. Ibom here has no power to prosecute anybody. It is not within their power. They can't prosecute anybody. The power of prosecution lies on the police and the Attorney General of the Federation of Ministry of Justice. No, they can at best be a complainant. And when they complain, that complaint must be investigated. It's not them that will determine we want this girl in court. It is not. When you complain in court to the police, but in Nigeria, the fact is the case. Once you go to the police and complain, it is what you want that may likely happen. They will be working based on your instruction, not based on what the law says or what the case is all about. So they act based on your instruction. So even if the Ibom here is tied to complain, the police must do their investigation. Was there any investigation? Can anybody tell us what happened at the background, apart from the video we are seeing, apart from the story from the Ibom here people? The girl has not been given an opportunity to say anything. So we don't even know what actually happened. But people are quick to say the girl was unruly. The girl was this and that. The girl was this and that. They don't know what happened. They don't know what led to that
altercation
issue.
Yeah.
Being in that manner. They don't know. Everybody has disembarked. She was there. I saw the video when she said, "Let me pass." They block her. So what, you expect her to just sit down and fold her arms and be looking at them? Probably they've been doing other things to her that we don't even know. At the time when she said, "Let me go out," she was wearing a long sleeve. By the time they would be dragging her out, she was wearing a short sleeve. What happened?
In between that, let me come to.
For me,
go ahead.
She was brought to court. She was brought to court. In the case of similar case of the one that happened 5 days ago, some days ago, we are still being told that they are still investigating. There was no rush to court, and some people are even telling us that since he has apologized, we should forgive him. That is the kind of country that we have. So if you belong to a particular class of people or status, you have a different enforcement when it comes to law. It's not law that is our problem. When people talk about law, it is not the law. It is the enforcement. People are given the responsibility of enforcing the law. Are the one enforcing it?
Yeah, the custodians of the law.
It's not law itself. When people talk about our law, our problem is constitution. The constitution must go. That is not the problem. If you do a brand new constitution and brand new laws today, if we are behaving the way we are behaving or implementing it the way we are implementing it will still be the same thing. So until we implement our law without fear or favor, but that's not the case. The Kwam one case, it was treated differently. See, in fact, he was even given a a special treatment to go back to Lagos. He was placed on a special jet to back to Lagos. While this one was quickly rushed to court without an investigation.
Without any investigation.
There's a lot of injustice in what happened.
Absolutely. Let me come to Oladapo now, because based on the whole incident, you know, why I'm even having this conversation is this question that has been bothering my mind. What is the hope of a common man in Nigeria? Because the legal institution is supposed to be, you understand, where we can find, yes, justice and all of that. So what is then now the hope of the common man in Nigeria?
Now, I'm a common man too. And the way you look at the state of this country, sometimes it seems it's hopeless, especially with the set of people that are ruling us. My learned friend just said that the main problem we are having is the people. So that for now, we can't say there's hope with this set of leaders that we have. Because for there to be hope, mentality must change. The way we do things must change. That's where we can say we can be hopeful. But as long as we still continue with this mindset and with the way we do things, then I can't see any hope ahead. Not the simple truth. A lot of things. In Nigeria, we have a situation where 2 wrongs makes another wrong. We lead to another wrong, and the wrong continues. So the only hope we can have is to start doing, we need to start doing the right thing before we can talk of hope. When we talk about this country as a whole, the first thing is our mentality must change. The way we do things must change. Our leaders must be ready to have a change of orientation. Nigerians need to have a change of orientation. We need to be able to call what is black, black, and what is white, white. We need to be able to say, okay, we want justice, and justice must be done. But in as much as it does not happen that way, there is no hope. We've seen, my learned colleague, we are doing that. Even in our judiciary, we see a lot of things that sometimes you wonder, am I even in the right profession? So left to me, I don't know. Our mentality must change before we can talk of hope. But now, I don't see any hope. We are just pushing it one day at a time in this country. I hope it doesn't escalate and turn into something one day or the other. But for now, we are just pushing it. Today will come, tomorrow will come. Tomorrow's problem is meant from next tomorrow. Our thinking must change. We must be ready to bring in reasonable and sound leaders in all spheres of this country.
So this point you're making, Oladapo, I'm so sorry to butt in, but the point you're making, right, how do we select these leaders? I gave an analogy yesterday. You know, every 4 years we go and we pick a set of people to lead the country. And we are complaining every 4 years that these people, is worse than even the previous person and all. We do that all the time every year. But we are a product, our leaders are a product of us as a people, right? So right now, if you say that we need to be intentional about changing, where does that change start from? And, where would be a good place for us to say, okay, you know what, this is the best place to start from in terms of mindset change, in terms of changing the direction of leadership in the country? How would that happen?
Yes, thank you very much. You see, the first thing we need to do is that every citizen of this country must realize that they have a part to play, especially the electioneering process. Votes, come out and vote. I can tell you that half of Nigerians didn't vote in the last election. And they see what is happening. They are not happy with it. But they feel, what will my vote do? What will my partition, how will it affect the whole scenario? But at least we could see what happened in Lagos at the first time when they did the governorship election, when it seems as if when the president even lost in Lagos, before they realized that, a lot of people, as I said, we need to just change our mentality. Election time, we need to come out, vote for who you think is right. When they know that our vote counts, when they get there, they begin to do the right thing. The orientation begins to change. Not when, time for election comes that they give you 5,000, they give you 10,000 there, you collect it, and you now come back and start shouting up all over the streets. It doesn't work that way. So the first thing we need to do is get our electioneering process right. It might take time, but once we get it right, and leaders know they have to be accountable. When they know that they can't just bribe or bring themselves in, when people start election booths to make sure that their votes count, Even if you lose the first time, you go again. One day we'll get it right.
Absolutely. Let's go on a short break, right? When we come back, I'd love to come to Tunji to ask more questions. Stay with us, we'll be right back. All right, thanks for staying tuned. Now, we're discussing selective justice in Nigeria. If you just tuned in, that's the conversation for tonight. And we're taking the ValueJet airline and Ibom Air case study, right? Please let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. You can also call us if you want to 07025007749 or 0701424240. So Tunji Abdul Hamid, let me come back to you. Now, the question around, should we as common people, should we even bother to go to our courts to seek justice? Because this conversation around the judiciary has been long, in the lips of a lot of Nigerians, saying that there's so much corruption within the judiciary. And I mean, Dele Farismi had even written a book on the criminal justice system in Nigeria, where it seems like, so there's just a lot around whether any Nigerian, any common Nigerian should go into those, that journey of trying to pursue anything legally. Do we still need to have faith in our legal systems in this country? Because I ask this question to say that if the legal system is working, right, this young lady, that had her chest exposed, on all over the social media and is everywhere around the world. People are watching that video. The kind of lawsuits that will come on Ibom Air, I think, it's probably they will shut down if we had a functioning legal system. But should we even bother to try to explore, finding justice within our courts? That's the question.
Yeah, I think we don't have any choice than to find justice within our courts, even though we have complaints, but we don't have that much confidence in it. It's unfortunate that we are saying this. But I will not agree that it's the court system that is not working that is causing our problem. You cannot, if you have a faulty foundation, there is nothing you will put on that foundation that will stand. They will be shaking. As long as the corruption is everywhere in Nigeria, not only in the judiciary, and those in the judiciary are part of Nigerians. So if there's corruption everywhere and it's not being taken care of, there's no way to not spread to the judiciary. The judiciary cannot be isolated from the problem of the country. They cannot be. The people in the judiciary, there are so many reasons why things are not working everywhere. Do we examine how these people are being selected or elected or appointed? Have we examined their welfare package? Have we examined their security? Have we examined? There are so many things that is not making it work. Have you looked at our court system? Find time one day and go to court and see. And you will even salute some of the judges and the lawyers in court for what they are doing, because the environment is not conducive. There are a lot of things that are not working. So, but notwithstanding, a country is governed by. We have little sanity that we have because we have a court system, even though it's not working the way we want it. So, if we want to do away with the court system, what we have is chaos. So, and sometimes people don't even know they are right, or people maybe probably because of the lack of trust. People prefer not to go to court. They like shortcuts. Probably because they think when you go to court, it costs money and it takes time. Yes, like I said, have we examined the reason why these are happening? In a situation, for example, in Lagos, where we don't have enough number of judges that can handle the cases that we have in Lagos. And this issue of a complaint that we are complaining, the issue of sentimental justice or selective justice, it only applies where there's one VIP or VVIP. This happens every day to even common men. But because they are not popular, they are not known, we don't see it. If Kwangwa was not popular, today maybe probably today he also will be in custody. Will be in custody because no, I can't try that with them and go and say a particular plane will not fly because I have issue with them. They will bundle me. Because it's Kwan. That's the truth. That's the truth.
You would have been chilling in Kirikiri. Maybe this would have been your 5th day.
Don't be surprised.
You won't even do that.
Don't be surprised. They charge me for terrorism. Don't be surprised. Our law enforcement agencies, they are always over serious. Especially when it comes to protecting people who are in position of authority or who are closer to people in authority. You see, we all have a role to play in this. Not only the people. When you talk about judiciary, we are talking about human beings who are Nigerians who are living with us. So judiciary are made up of people we have staffs in judiciary who are not different from people who work at the in class as teacher. We have people who are judges who are not different from people. Some of them are not even qualified to be there. That's the truth, unfortunately. They're because they know one person or the other. And that's why they are loyal. It's not to the system. It's not to the law. It's to the people that put them there. Those are the issues. We have so many issues. So you can't blame people at judiciary as isolate the problem and say judiciary is not stable. That's why we're having this problem. No, it cannot be stable. Look at the foundation.
The foundation is very faulty.
It is faulty. People who are not qualified are being made judges. People who are not qualified are being given appointments just because they know one person or the other. People who are not, you see, and that's why you see some of them. You can see the River State case. The governors of the DPP governors filed a case regarding that case at the Supreme Court. To date, it's not been heard. That case will not take them more than 1 day to handle. A serious case of that matter. But you know why? Because there are connection and interests, which are above the law. So people who are in government, people who are in authority in Nigeria, see themselves as above the law, and people who are also to deal with them, treat them as such. So we once you are closer to somebody or you know somebody who is in power, they teach you specially, or just mention that you are a particular name that they know, or they know you that particular person. You'll be given special treatment. So there are a lot of things that is wrong with our system. It is not, and until those things are fixed, and we all have a role to play. It's not about just coming out on the election and say you are voting for a candidate that you think it will change your life. No, it's not possible. What are the processes how does that candidate emerge? If you are waiting for the election,
that's what we have been saying for the past 3-4 years now. You have to be part of political structures that eventually, select the people that would end up on the ballot paper, so that in the end we are not going to be choosing between the devil and the deep blue sea. We are choosing between two good candidates. You understand? So let's stop having the choice of let's pick the lesser evil. No. If we are part of the process of those selecting the people, or the delegates that would eventually select the people that would end up on our ballot papers, that is where the real power is. Because at the point of ballot and printing for a candidate, it's already too late. So we must be intentional about getting ourselves politically, engaged, and at grassroots level and all of that. But as a way of solution,
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's unfortunate that people who call themselves elites are people. In fact, if you have some people on, they'll be proud to say it on here. God forbid that I join politics. God forbid that I participate. It's not. When you say so, you are leaving the system for people you call wicked people, for people you call who don't have our interest at heart, and you are leaving the system for them, and you expect them to change the system for you. It will not happen. Like you said, we must have to be involved. And when you say be involved, we are not saying you must come and contest election.
Yeah.
Then if you all participate, if you all participate, the idea of giving us candidates that will not deliver will not be there. These candidates don't see you as somebody who elected them. They see their godfather who gave them the opportunity as though they have the responsibility to. They are not accountable to you because you didn't make them what they are. So we need to be involved.
That's true. So let me come back to you, Oladapo. Now, as a way of finding solutions, right, how do we start to intentionally speak up against maybe an injustice or something without putting ourselves in that position of danger or a disadvantaged position, right? So obviously, from the event that happened with the young girl, that something happened. Something went wrong with the what's the word I'm looking for now? The airline. But the way she also conducted herself, it gave them a bit of room to be able to also manhandle. I'm just talking about in terms of resolution. What is the best legal approach for provocations, for things like this? Knowing that because you are a common man, you are going to always be at a disadvantaged position. So how best do you approach conflict?
All right. The issue we have is that sometimes we can't determine how best, because it's what determines how we react sometimes
is a circumstance.
Has a lot of factors. Yeah, circumstances. But in the country where we are, every Nigerian needs to learn patience, number one. Because this particular lady now is cooling off in prison. And this is something, probably if she had maybe calmed down a bit, she won't be in that kind of situation. Though I also agree with my learned friend who said it was hasty. I've never seen it where it happened that within hours and days, they've already filed charges, 5 count charges against her in the court without no investigation, not hearing from her. Probably she just wrote one statement. They said, no, let's take this, and the next thing is in court. So Nigerians, or as individuals, let us have it at the back of our mind that we're in a country where there's selective justice, where if you don't know people, you'll be dealt with by people that are in power, especially when you're dealing with powers that be big commercial companies, big politicians, big policemen.
Oh, did we lose Oladapo? Tunji, are you there?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So let me, just to follow up on that question, you can touch on a bit on the question I asked Oladapo. Are you back?
Judiciary is the last hope of man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, right. We lost you for a second. Go ahead. Oh, I think we lost him again. Tunji, I was just going to ask that from what he's saying, right? Because I did a video on social media and I was saying, who is your daddy? So I was saying it casually.
The best approach, she has grievances, approach the courts. And you can...
Oh, sugar. Okay, Tunji, I don't know if you can hear me, right? I did a video on social media and I said, who is your daddy? If your papa no be Dangote or Adeleke, you better be careful and apply wisdom in dealing with things. Because again, even those people that are so-called activists, some of them have backings in higher authority. So don't be fooled to think that we are all equal and we are all doing aluta. So let's be conscious. A lot of people came on my post and some of them were accusing me that I'm instilling fear, right? That why am I instilling fear? Is it that people don't have the right to be able to speak against injustice or whatever? See the case in point now, this young girl that cried about NYC. Everybody benefited from that cry. All the youth corps members, because they are earning 77,000 naira now, all thanks to her outcry. But how many people are truly standing by her? You understand? With the issue around her certificate being withheld and all of that. So the point I'm making is that I was trying to tell people, apply wisdom, in dealing with this thing. But some people have come out, to criticize my post, to say that no, that I'm instilling fear. Please help me break it down, because that was why I asked that question. How best do we approach conflict? As people that I don't have anybody. What's the best thing to do?
But the case in hand is not. I won't consider it a conflict. I will consider it an attempt to bring somebody to use power on somebody, and I still insist. I will not conclude that the girl did not comport herself. I will not, until I know what actually happened before before she started raking. So that you get to a point that when something happened to you, you say, if I would die, let me die. I will react. Probably that was what happened. So I would, and we have not been told exactly what happened. There was no video as to what happened before that incident, the one before we saw. Yeah, exactly. So something must have happened that make us look. If I would die, let me die. So it will get to a point when you are pushed to the wall. You want to react. Probably that happened. But in Nigeria, most cases, when we are pushed to the wall, we will look for a way to break the wall and move into the wall and move out of the wall. Find a solution. You see, truly, to an extent, I agree with you, and I also agree with those who are saying you are instilling fear. Because if you continue to say we don't know anybody, we don't know this and that, and we continue to, that's exactly what those in the authority are looking for. They want a situation where we won't be able to challenge them. We'll be afraid of them. And once we begin to afraid of the people in power, then there's no we are not moving anywhere again. So we need to, notwithstanding that the fact that you must know who you are, you must know but there are situations whereby you must speak out. If you don't speak out, it will continue. As our non-participation in politics when I say our, I'm not part of it. Those who are not participating, I'm fully participating. I'm a full participant because I know I cannot sit down somewhere and expect somebody else to fight for me. If I truly love myself and love my country, I should also be out also to fight for what I believe in. People will say politicians are fighting for their own interests. If you have the interest of fighting for the country, why not also come out and fight for it? So if you all say we have interest for the development of this our country, and we all decide to come out and say we are fighting for the development of our country, we'll get it right. But because we are few, that is why we're not able to get it. When you have so many people in that, so if you want to look at the situation where if I talk, something will happen to me, and I don't have any father behind me, I don't have this and that behind me, that will continue. The impunity and the oppression will continue. So to an extent, I agree with those who say if we are saying that, we may be instilling fear in some people, and we must be encouraging ourselves to speak up. That is the truth. I have made up my mind to speak. People will say, you don't even see anything good in government. I have my plan, my thinking is to look at those things the government are not doing well and talk about it. What they are doing well doesn't continue.
Okay, my so this is my analogy, and I'll come back to your Ladapo. I think you're back. My point is, there's something they say that insanity is, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. What we've done over the years, we've lamented, we've shouted, we've done all the things and all of that, and we'll just be complaining and lamenting and all of that, and things have remained the way they are. If not, they have even gotten worse than where they were, right? So in my own thinking, there should be a lot of strategy and wisdom in approaching government, right? Or approaching people in places of authority. That way, you know, I want a situation where, as a young person, if they check anywhere, they can't fault anything because you went there with a lot of wisdom and you went into that conversation or you went into that conflict or whatever with a lot of strategy. So you are, and I like your train of thought where you were talking about calm approach and apply a lot of patience, because I think that was the message I was trying to drive. But people are reading it that it is fear. It's not fear. Wisdom, I mean, there's silent power, right? There is silent power. Yes. And I think young people need to be intentional about taking advantage of the silent power that we have. There's a lot that we can do, you know, that will shake a lot of things without us even making any noise. That's where I'm driving at. But let me hear your thoughts, your final thought to Ladapo as we wrap up, because we ran out of time.
All right. So I would just want to say, as I was saying earlier, there's always an approach. When there's a wrong, there's always a remedy. There's always something after a wrong. So Nigerians and young people especially should know that. You know, with situations where, you know, policemen will stop people on the road because they feel they are right, they start dragging the policemen, the next thing they are shot. We've had situations like that, you know, in the past. Let our young people know that this country is...
Oh, wow.
So we should be patient in our approach. We should be patient in our approach. The way we do things, we should be patient. There's always a remedy. If you have been wronged in an airline has wronged you, or an institution has wronged you, the best thing to do is get in touch with counsel. Let them advise you on what to do. Because before you know it, you take actions into your hand, and maybe it becomes ruffles. They will find a way to just run it around you and run it against you. Before you know it becomes court matter, you start spending your money in court. So what I always tell my young people, I mean, I lead some set of young persons, I always tell them, everywhere you are, just make sure you are calm. Just make sure you think about what you are about to do. What will happen when I do this? This is not a country that allows people to just voice out. Even me as a lawyer, my learned friend, probably more outspoken than I am, I don't put mouth in everything in this country. Because by the time you do it, and they mark you and they know this person does this, I've seen where people lose opportunities because they talk too much. And the opportunities in these countries are not so much that I would want to lose some opportunities. So sometimes when I talk on this side, I talk on this side, and I find a way forward. What is the way forward? What should we do right? So I think what we should do right is for every young person to know that after a wrong, there's always a remedy, no matter how bad it looks, no matter how innocent it looks sometimes too. If you feel you have been wronged, approach the police, approach a lawyer and tell them this is what happened when I was coming. I feel my right have been, you start by right. Truthfully, our judiciary is slow. It has reasons why they are slow, but with God on our side and with continual pressure and when we continually do the right thing at the right time, maybe it will get better soonest.
Okay.
So there's hope. Finally, there's hope in the judiciary. What I just want to say at this point is let us find a way and let us look at how we can project and advise, and our legislators should make sure they should help the judiciary to stand alone. We shouldn't be dependent on the executives at all times. That is why most of the things that happen in judiciary, it is still the last hope of the man. There's nowhere you can go. It is still the judiciary. They see justice being meted out by the judiciary. We see justice every time meted in the courts.
Yeah.
In a lot of matters. So there's still hope in the judiciary, but we need it to be more independent. We need them to be able to act independent of the executive so that it will be easy for them to take decisions against even powers that be.
Okay. So Tunji, let's wrap up your thoughts in 2 minutes, please, or a minute or less. Or 30 seconds. Okay, go ahead.
That young ones should be calm in approaching issues. That's when we are given opportunity to even seek redress. Look at this girl's case. She wanted to come out on her own voluntarily. They blocked her. How would she now? How would she now react when she was not allowed to even leave? So what I'm saying is that we need to participate. We need to be involved in the system. We need to ask questions more on the government. What will be. If my speaking will not allow me get a particular job or whatever, so be it. Yeah. I don't care. Sometimes I will leave and I will not die.
I think Tunji, you are a Luther Continua Victoria asset. I can see it is in your blood.
I'm with him too.
I'm not an activist.
But at some point in Nigeria, we have to get to that point where we are not afraid of anything. That's the way we will find, yeah.
Kiyamo became what is it today because of his activism.
Absolutely.
When he was killed, he came out against all odds to stand behind the alleged what's it called?
Absolutely.
Killer.
Okay.
He became famous.
Unfortunately, we ran out of time. But thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your evening.